Hey everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio, episode number 67. Yes, 67 weeks. Every single Friday for 67 weeks I've been coming to you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for viewing. Thank you so much for following and liking and commenting and sharing and everything. You're sending your questions and just sending me love. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. This week, very special episode, aliens. It's time. It's time to talk about aliens, folks. I don't know anything about it, but I want to talk about it. I have two good friends of mine. One I basically grew up with, like family. The other guy I work with, still close. And people that I trust their opinions, but any opinion is what I'm looking for. And like everything else with Fatso Radio, once I found out that they lied about fat, or not even that they lied, but once I found out that we were wrong about fat, I started figuring out that we were wrong about a lot of things. And it wasn't just me figuring it out. A lot of people are starting to see this. So, aliens. We're getting some recent news about aliens, or at least about some unidentified flying objects. So, let's talk about it. Folks, don't forget to check out my sponsor, my forever sponsor, Volpe Martial Arts. My brother, Sifu Adam, Volpe Martial Arts is KW's hottest new Kung Fu and Hapkido martial arts school. That's right, Kitchener and Waterloo. Check them out, volpemartialarts.com. Also, don't forget to check out papaearth.ca. Papa Earth is a Canadian-sourced, locally sourced Canadian meat and fish and poultry delivered right to your door in Alberta and Ontario. Check them out, papaearth.ca, and don't forget to use the code word FATSOMEAT to save yourself $10 off a small box or $20 off a large box. All right, folks, let's do it. Dave Gomes, Andrew Kennery, Aliens, episode number 67, Fatso Radio. Peace. Lily, take it away, babe.
Fatso Radio, the really good podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really good podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't put your nails and don't put your hair.
We'll talk about chicken, we'll talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really good podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio, episode number 67, and tonight I have two special guests, Andrew Kennery from Kitchener here, and David Gomes, also from Kitchener right now, or maybe Waterloo, I'm not sure where you are. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Hey buddy, good to see you.
Good to see you too. So I used to work with Andrew probably a couple years ago now, right, at the gym. We spent some time there.
Yeah.
You were personal training, and I was trying to sell memberships, if I think so, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Dave, I go way back with Dave.
Years ago.
Yeah, it's a couple years ago. Dave, essentially, we grew up together in Sault Ste. Marie. He's basically like family, cousins of my sister-in-law, but like I said, basically family. And I want to get you guys here tonight to really talk about, like we said in our intros, aliens, right? I know it's a big topic. It's one of those things where, for years, if I would have said to you, what do you think about it? Half the people I know would have thought it was crazy. Half the people I know would have thought, well, just don't worry about it. There's other things to worry about, But it's in the news, and we're talking about it, and it seems like it's, on one hand, I feel like this is crazy timing, right? The most weirdest time in the world for all this stuff to come up. At the same time, it seems like it's pretty convenient as well, and not to be conspiratorial, but it really can be a really crazy time. So maybe I'll start out with, what do you guys think about as far as the recent information that was released? There's some recent video footage of fighter pilots seeing, what they've identified as either a UFO or basically just unidentified, right? They can't really identify it. And we've seen it, CNN's released it. I think, Fox News has released it. We'll kind of just take from there. Who wants to kind of maybe start or spin on it, Dave or Andy? What do you think as far as the timing of this stuff? Let's start with that. Do you guys have any ideas of or opinions on the timing of it?
The way I look at it, it's more convenience than anything, right? Like those videos that are coming out now that have quote unquote been affirmed, if you would, as by the military, were announced by Tom DeLonge way back in 2017. Now, Tom is the founder of Blink-182.
Ah, yes.
And he's always been people say conspiracy nut, right? But he's always been about aliens and extraterrestrial life and a whole bunch of other conspiracies. And if you go look at the history of the band, the band members are all saying he's been like that since they've known him. And if the band started, 2004? We're talking about early 2000s that he's been doing this, right? And he released it, again, 2017, the exact same footage. Yeah. So does that mean that he's right? Because hey, people are saying he's a conspiracy theorist. that's bull crap. Like he made up that video or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, now what?
Yeah, exactly. Now it seems like, well, he definitely didn't make it up, and maybe he was just somebody that kind of knew, right? Or I think, did he get it from the Freedom of Information request? Is that how he got that?
It was either that or it was leaked to him. I can take a quick
Yeah.
look if Andy wants to keep going.
I felt like he was talking about that it was he was working with the government or something like that, if I remember correctly. I remember him on the Joe Rogan podcast there talking about it.
Okay.
And I thought he was working with somebody. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what he was doing at that point.
And that was 2017, right?
What's that?
So that was 2017 when he released it?
When was that? Is that 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Every Sunday? Wow, okay.
Doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's coming back now. Yeah, so and it's coming back, and it's you know, it's in the popular news right now, and it's obviously like, I don't know if it's like you said, maybe it's convenience, or maybe it's maybe they know, and maybe it's like time we finally need to know.
Well, I've always liked astrology and you know, outer space and that kind of stuff. What I remember, what kind of sparked me to kind of look into it more at one point was the Canadian government had made a release years ago, and I believe it was he was in the military. It was very high ranking.
It's like Minister of Defense or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was going on and on about how, you know, basically aliens existed or that we were been visited. And I remember that not getting any kind of, you know, I remember watching and being like, hey, this is it. The government's saying these things exist, and no one seems to care.
I think I even saw him in footage in the House of Commons, like saying it in Parliament. Yeah.
They have it on YouTube.
I've seen that.
It's on YouTube still, which is kind of crazy.
The big question now is what was happening then when he said that, right? It's because Corona's now and talking about aliens, and I found it. It says DeLonghair released 3 videos in late 2017 and early 2018 to the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, TTSA. It's a UFO research organization he co-founded in 2017. Wow. I'd have to keep reading to see where he got it from, but that's where when it was released, it was 2017.
Yeah, so it's been around for 3 years now, and I don't know. Like I said, is it's, you know, there's so many people have always thought, like you were saying, Andy, like we've always kind of had the idea of, oh, you know, maybe they're around. You know, we've been hearing forever. We've all grown up with the idea of, you know, maybe they're around, and maybe it's just time. I don't know. Are we ready? If I have asked half the people I know, I mean, they'll probably say, sure, let's do it. The other half the people will probably be terrified, but I don't know.
Exactly. What are they going to come out with? They're going to come out and say aliens started Corona?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely can't say that.
I think for them to have announced something, they must have backward engineered some sort of technology to, you know, I guess kind of advance us probably further along in space flight than what they're saying. Yeah. Because otherwise, I don't think they would announce it if we couldn't, you know, we didn't have some sort of, you know, oh, we're going to be going to Mars in the next 20 years. You know, that kind of announcement next type thing.
That's true. Yeah. They're not usually ever, they know generally more than us, right? That's what you're saying. Like, they're not going to say, hey, this is out there, but they still have a plan. They know what's going on, but they just let out just a front to us.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we think these things are out here. By the way, we can't fly even to the moon right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're pretty fucked if,
exactly. Well, and didn't China just say that they want to start a colony on the moon?
Wow.
Within the next couple of years, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a big deal.
Yep. They took the first pictures of the quote unquote dark side of the moon there, I think like a month or two ago.
Wow.
Yep. That's right. Even though Pink Floyd sang about it how long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's play this game where if they are preparing us for aliens, right? it's not a very good preparation to say maybe there's something out there, because that really kind of spawns more fear or more uncertainty. But maybe this is their small way of giving us, small doses rather.
But is it, right? Because everybody's scared of corona. What better way to make something less worrisome than have something more worrisome, where people see corona, they experience corona pretty much every day in their lives now, whereas aliens, well, who's going to be scared of it if they haven't seen it, they haven't experienced it, and then people already have, quote unquote, right?
Yeah. So it's the real boogeyman, right? Or the real kind of like, I mean, in a lot of ways, you can say corona is the same as an alien invader, right? It's unknown, we can't see it, it's invisible. There's controversy whether people believe it or not. Even, I'm not saying that I don't believe corona, of course, but there's so many questions around it.
Right.
I don't know, and that's the thing too. So if the aliens are here, or if they are coming, right? What's the next step for us? What do we do? I mean, we don't fight them, because, like, I think Dave, you and I even said before we started recording, the chances are we're not going to be able to fight them anyway. To that advance, right? And then, do we even want to? I don't want to. Fuck, we've had enough fighting, I think.
Yeah, exactly, right? Do you want to be the next experiment? No.
Yeah. And do you want to be the reason why the aliens got pissed off? I mean,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily believe that they've had any kind of, I don't know, encounter, so to speak, like that's like with an actual alien. It's kind of part of me arguing my own self, I guess, on that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's had that encounter, other than just with ships, or not being able to chase down a ship and being like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Or reverse engineering something that necessarily crashed. But I don't think that necessarily means that we've dealt with aliens other than on that basis.
So basically, you're saying that you don't think anybody's come down, I want to talk to your leaders, right? Take me to your leaders, and let's have a sit down, and let's talk about this.
Right. Like I think to an extent, maybe they've reverse engineered some things, and that's maybe how we even have an iPhone. But other than that, it's like maybe the closest they've ever seen is trying to shoot down shit in their fighter planes, and can't do it, and they might know the exact same shit as us, other than they've reverse engineered some technology.
Yeah,
or they're trying to. Are they trying to find out who reversed engineered that technology, and they're trying to get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be the other thing too, right? Maybe it's a foreign government that has either they've reverse engineered technology, and they're trying to redeploy it or whatever, or like I said, everybody's trying to figure it out. I wonder sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, would the government be in a position to say, hey guys, there's a bunch of flying things out there, just a heads up? Like, when was the government ever been so proactive like that? Right?
Yeah, unless they want help.
What's that?
Like if they want people to be looking for it, almost to be their extra eyes for them.
Maybe they're trying to drum up some,
like, or if they don't know shit about them really, and they're just all of a sudden, they want more cameras to the sky so that they have more footage to study.
But at the same time, they want everybody to stay home right now. Interesting. Maybe it's just the convenience, I guess. Oh, I think we might have lost Andrew there. Are Dave, you still there? All right, Dave, and we're back. Dave and Andy, thanks so much, guys. There was just a little bit of a hiccup there, but we're back. And we just want to continue where we were talking about, Dave. And I think what we were saying is that the convenience, right? Or maybe the timing of this disclosure. And what did you want to get into? Is like,
yeah, basically I was saying, is it really convenient, or is it too convenient now that we're all isolated in our homes, and that's what we're supposed to be focusing in on corona only? Maybe, is there other things happening outside right now, right? Should we all go out and take a look at the sky and see if there's any extra lights or anything, right?
It's funny you said that, because usually I think it's the North Star. I'm not sure if it's the North Star or if it may be a planet, actually. In my backyard, I look up, it's basically northwestern sky. and it's super, super bright. I've noticed it over the last couple of weeks or so, and I don't know if it's a North Star or not or whatever, but I didn't really notice this before the whole Corona thing. And I used to spend a lot of time outside looking up in the sky, but I just wonder. I don't know if you guys notice a super bright star at night, like the north sky.
I think they call it the moon.
No, it's not the moon. It's much smaller. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like I said, the position of the Earth.
There's an app that somebody's.
Less pollution.
Yeah, that's true. A lot less light pollution going on right now, right?
Yeah.
And then just less pollution in general. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But there's an app.
Okay.
I had a buddy show me once, but I never installed it. You put down where you are right now, and it'll say if you look this way, this is what you can see, like what astral bodies and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Around.
One as well.
So that might be something you want to take a look into. Now, if you think it's whatever star, it should tell you you're facing that way. This is what it should be.
But that brings up a good question, though. So what other type of things could potentially, hypothetically, right, could they be trying to do while we're doing this, or while we're in essentially house arrest, right? Like, not to get too far into conspiracy, but if for some reason there's maybe a secondary purpose to keep us inside, right? Not to get to the whole 5G thing, because there's one theory, right, that they're installing 5G towers everywhere, and who knows? I'm not talking about that. But other things like
they're installing them anyways. But
what's that?
I said they were going to install them anyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paid for the network right, so they're fucking doing it. I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe just be a good timing now. Less people on the streets, right? Good time to prepare the roads too.
They had to set up the network anyways, so
yeah.
Whatever.
But one of the things that I think maybe did you allude to, or maybe you alluded to, Dave, is like something like experiments, or something like maybe there is government testing going on, or I don't know. What do you think about that? Like
exactly, like maybe they did make
done this.
Yeah, did they make communication, right? And does that rely on aliens aren't going to come down here and visit us like we were talking about before? Like they're not going to hold a bank, right? Maybe they're going to say, no, we're going to stay up here and we're going to communicate down to you guys,
exactly.
Right?
And maybe communication is different now. Maybe it's not face-to-face. Maybe it's not even as far as how we communicate. Maybe it's a different existence. Maybe it's a different, dimension. Who knows?
Different plane, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, of existence. Maybe we need to get into a certain state, maybe a state of mind. This actually brings up another point, is that there's a kind of a school of thought as well that thinks that maybe we could communicate to aliens or other beings, right, in a psychedelic state. I'm completely up to that, right? And maybe this is a way. There's some people talking about this, but maybe there's a way to communicate, whether it's an isolation tank, whether it's maybe, psilocybin mushrooms or cannabis or whatever, or LSD. I mean, I don't know if you have too much experience with that, Dave, or your opinion on that stuff, but I know that from my experience, the more open-minded you are, right, and the more open you are to perceive other things, it falls in line with maybe we're perceiving another dimension as well. I don't know. What do you think about that, Andy? You got some experience with that, no?
Yeah. I think it's just when you... Maybe it's just even being the type of person to even try it. It just means that you are the type of person that automatically is more open-minded. But I think it definitely helps more anyways. It gives you ideas. I think it creates thought on things that we don't necessarily take time to think about when we're not super high.
Yeah, no, definitely, like, expands your awareness, right? Expands your field of thought for sure. Dave, what do you think about that? Is that any of that make sense to you?
It does, but I'm also like coming at it from the scientific side, where I've always firmly believed in the way that if you look at how even our own bodies work, or tech works, and the signals that they give off, that we wouldn't necessarily need to get to that psychedelic state, quote unquote, to pick up those signals, right? Sure. Now, it might be, you can think of it, maybe that's how they use it to translate, right?
Because maybe a faster way to get there. Maybe we can get there through meditation, right? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, but that should all be able to be picked up by the current technology that we have. Maybe not as easily, but if you go and translate, who's to say aliens are going to come down and speak English?
Well, exactly, right? Or who's to say they're going to speak to us at all? Maybe, like you said, maybe it's telepathy. Maybe it's... if you like, the proposed ideas are that if these advanced civilizations, or if there are civilizations out there, right, they're potentially much, much older than us. And if they're much, much older than us, they're potentially much more advanced than us. And maybe they've gone to a place where they're not talking anymore. Right? These are all just hypothetical scenarios, but it's definitely plausible, right?
Yeah. Is it inefficient to speak?
Yeah, for sure. These mouth noises, right? Where we can get, I can say the wrong word, then I have to explain what I mean. Or if I'm sending you thoughts, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Or thinking about.
Or I can show you, right?
Yeah, visually, exactly. That'd be amazing if it can kind of put an idea or an image in someone's head, or who knows, or even just project it, right? Who knows the technology, but
wouldn't that freak you out though?
It would be crazy. Yeah, I walked up to somebody, next thing you know, I see a little thought bubble above their head or something. Pretty crazy.
Do you guys watch the Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
So he just had Elon Musk on there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I did the other day.
When he was trying to explain his kid's name, yeah.
Yeah. And they were talking about his other company.
Neuralink, or
with the Neuralink there, and he was talking about how within a few years he thinks that you won't even need to speak to each other to communicate.
Yeah.
So not too far off.
For sure.
Some of those ideas already.
Yeah. What do you?
If an alien was to come, maybe we would have the technology in our head then to communicate with them.
Actually, it brings up an idea. Maybe this is the pinnacle point, because maybe we are becoming ready, right? Maybe our technology is coming to a point where we're almost there. Maybe the aliens know we're almost there. Maybe this is time, like a inflection point, or a crossroads. Maybe they're here to help us. There's even the idea, I've thought of the idea that if we are close to AI, right, and if AI has a potential to be super dangerous, and we need the right parameters in check, or the right measures in there, maybe we will need alien cooperation or alien support for this. And maybe that's the thing too. Maybe they're the theory. One of the theories, a couple of theories I've heard over the years, that the aliens were woken up, or they were alerted when we did nuclear testing in the past, and then maybe this is the next thing. Maybe this is like, hey, they're fucking with AI. Maybe we need to go down there and see what they're doing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Oh crap! They're getting too smart. We better tell them not to do it, right?
Or they're getting They're getting smart. Let's help them. I'm more optimistic. Let's help them do it better, right? Or so they don't blow each other up. I don't know.
I think. I mean, I guess the idea that we woke them up. I don't know about that, because you follow back. Yeah, maybe you follow back in time with pyramid, just different hieroglyphs back in time. The was it Globe Tepe or Globe Tepe or whatever the heck that thing was called.
Globe Tepe, yeah.
Yeah. So and you have all these hints at alien visitors. And I don't know if, how recent any of these alien type things are.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I kind of feel more like the aliens could be us.
Could be.
That's the more I think about it, the further away some of these planets and stuff are, that I guess they could just have space colonies, but that support life.
Yeah.
They're so far. You have to travel through other galaxies, and then through all that dead space in between.
Yeah.
That it's so unlikely that they would find us, unless they already knew where we were.
Or unless they have a different mode of transport. Maybe they don't need linear transport like us. Yeah,
because I like the idea that we didn't naturally occur from monkeys. That humans were, kind of
receded from another planet.
Yeah, maybe? Interspecies mix between an ape type thing and some sort of alien type thing. I like that idea.
Definitely, it's definitely possible, right? That the question always is, where's the missing link, right? How do we get from chimps to us? We know
right.
Primal man and everything. But yeah, it's a good point. Or the idea that maybe we are, like you said, aliens that have left and they were coming back now years later.
Mhm.
The evolved humans, or there's the other idea. Maybe I don't know what you guys think of this. That maybe it's just another form of us. Instead of instead of aliens being from another planet, maybe it's a part of humanity that we have considered alien all this time.
Yep.
Maybe we need to tap into it.
From the past.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I just think the Egyptian stuff is all so old, so much older than what they kind of lead you to believe, and that having like who the hell built that, and those people aren't around, so I think they left.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah, they came here. They said, "Oh, these guys aren't ready or civilized enough, right? Let's go somewhere else and come back in a couple of years."
Or it could have been an asteroid that hit it or something, and they just fucking took off.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe they caught wind that there was, there's been a lot of cataclysms, right, over the years, an asteroid, global warming, all different things that have happened, Maybe they got wind, took off, and maybe they're coming back again, or maybe, like I said, maybe they've never left. It's an interesting theory, or many interesting theories, I guess, of like, well, do you guys have any ideas of what would they be doing here? Say they are coming here from somewhere else, and they want to make contact. Do you guys have an idea of a potential mission or a potential reason for contact?
It's always the why, right? Why?
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
It's like we were speaking to before. It's if they're going to be, if they wanted to see something bad happen to us and they have the tech to fly around like that, I don't think us collectively could stop them, right? No matter as much the movie is Independence Day, it's not going to be some guy in a plane flying into the middle of it with a nuclear bomb, right?
Exactly. Crazy.
What, they don't have radar?
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be. You're right. It's not going to be an assault. It's not going to be a traditional war. If there's ever a war, probably a war of ideas, if anything, or a war of us maybe accepting. I think that's probably what it's going to be. I mean, maybe it's such a big thing. I mean, the idea that we have foreign aliens or other life forms and we have to now deal with them, that would be such a big thing. That how could we have everybody accept it? I don't know.
But would they care?
It's a good question. I don't know. Do we have enough things to worry about that nobody cares about aliens anymore?
No, would aliens care though? What we think, right? Like if they're all powerful, what are we gonna do? Bend over and kiss our asses, and that's about it.
Well, exactly, and that's also assuming that they want to be powerful and dominating, right? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're truly a peaceful being, and who knows? Maybe it's us that's kind of pushed them away all these years, right? Maybe it's we don't hear about the military actually pushing them away, or maybe we don't hear about these black op operations or whatever they're called, those classified operations. So I don't know. I wonder if
the whole "we're not worthy" thing.
Yeah, maybe exactly. Maybe we're not worthy. I don't know if I would think like I said, I'm optimistic enough to think that aliens would look at us as a whole species and say these guys are worth it, right? Let's give it a shot. Just like we would look at a whole species of any animals, right? And we would say let's not exterminate the whole species. I don't know. I feel like that.
I think too that we don't necessarily need to assume that they are that the idea of war is not alien to them. You know what I mean? Like
maybe they're peaceful.
It could be so ludicrous that that's not even a thought there. They're just peaceful. So they might not have any sort of weaponry. They might just be able to get here.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at us because I never really hear any of the stories where it's like a fighter jet got shot down by any of them. They just fly away from them and then leave.
Well, they almost like play with them, right? Come up real fast, bugger off.
They just go around in circles wherever, and shoot on the radar.
Yeah, they basically do the.
They might not have any weaponry,
And like you said, maybe they might not need it if they're so advanced too.
Right.
Either way.
Right.
Or maybe that's their specialization.
Yeah, I mean, if they can, maybe a society that focused on space travel never focused on weapons. To your point, right? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the idea that they're not, well, first of all, the idea that they're traveling from far away distances, that's really intriguing because, like, well, if they can get here, right, then like you said, let's use that technology. We can get somewhere else. But maybe getting somewhere else is not the answer. I don't know. Like everybody keeps on saying that we can fix our planet, and scientists, we can fix our planet, we can heal it. A perfect example is now during this whole Corona thing. Pollution's getting better, like we were saying earlier. But how do we maintain that? Can we turn the switch and make our country or our globe, our Earth green overnight? It can be done, but it takes a lot of money.
I doubt it. Well, not just money. It's like if it took so long to, not even so long. It took that long to get here.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's gonna be 2 days to fix it.
No, but it could take a decade, right? I mean, technology is going so fast these days, and our advances are going so fast that it's real. I mean, we've seen, right, through a crisis like Corona, that anything can happen when the government puts money to it, and they have endless supply of money when it comes down to it. So, I mean, they don't really have endless supply of money, but sometimes they act like they do. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if, like, I don't know. What do you think? I guess the next question is too. What do we do now? That would be maybe the next question. As a government, what do we do? As a people, what do we do?
Yeah. Does the government, can they afford
more questions?
Yeah, we can just ask more questions.
Ask more videos, more. This can't be the only stuff they have.
Yeah, you're right. Because if it is the only stuff they have, they wouldn't be sharing it with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I was just reading too that video footage is actually from 2015, so he didn't get it till 2 to 3 years later, and then 2 to 3 years later after that is when the government finally confirmed it. So now we're talking 5 years, right?
Exactly.
How far ahead? How much further ahead could they have gotten within 5 years?
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that this brings back to the points where we've had accounts since the 40s, right, of aliens, ships and landings and crash landings, supposedly stories. So, I mean, it's interesting or it's novel to think that we've had 5 years to think about this, but we probably have 50 years, right, or 60 years to think about this. So, I wonder. The other question
over California.
What's that, sorry?
The lights over California.
Yeah, Arizona lights, Phoenix lights as well, right? So many famous sightings. I don't know if it's been going on I guess let's go to what are we going to do now? So we can ask questions, right? And I think that's probably the first thing we should start doing is maybe we should start talking about it again with more people. Things like this podcast, things like just getting the conversation around. It's not conspiratorial, but like, hey, this has come out on the news. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And if more people are just kind of talking about it, some novel ideas will come up, right? Some novel plans might come up. But also a general acceptance, I think, is something we're looking for. Because if they did come down and showed themselves to us, we'd have to be able to handle that. Could we handle it as a people?
Exactly. It could be another step of sanity check, right? Like everybody always thinks, I'm right. That's the only way that it could be, until somebody comes up and says, no, well, look, here you go, right? Yeah. And I just looked it up real quick, and the first instance of alien and alien abduction was back in 1961.
Jeez.
By Barney and Betty Hill.
There you go, famous Barney Betty Hill. Yeah, and that's a very detailed account story. Yeah. And that's what, this 50 years ago, right? No more. Sorry,
60, almost 60, 59 years ago.
59 years ago. So that's a long time. And then there's been countless stories, since then. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are we ready? I think so.
I think we're ready for. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The idea of like religion is so much challenged by it. So I think there's definitely some things that would hold it back in that respect, right? Like you got to always look at who has more power.
Yeah.
Things like the Catholic Church itself.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be good for them.
No.
Well, it could be, right? Because who's to say that
if they spin it right?
If they spin it right, absolutely.
That's true. Yeah, there's always a spin.
It's going to be worse for the religions that focus on only an object per se, right? Like Buddhism and whatnot, right? One guy.
Well, I would even say the monotheists, like the Christian, the Judo, Judeo-Christian, even the Islamic faiths. It's one God, right? I mean, if we know that aliens are around, what does it do to the idea of one God?
Why not though? It's still gods above the aliens. It was how they could
Sure.
spin it, right?
Because yeah, for
Or-
sure. And then you could also, if you're Hindu, you could say that the other gods were aliens too.
right?
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
true.
it's any main religion that focuses on one person and nothing as a higher being, right?
Well, yeah, I think even the question of a higher being is will come up, right? For sure, because it's like, well, does my God, is it their God as well? Right? Is one God, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
if there is, in my opinion, if there is a supreme being that kind of the creator of everything, then it would create everything, of course. But like I said, who knows? This God that we know may just be a God of Earth. And I know it sounds silly, but everything right now is silly. Because the Bible has never talked about other planets. The Bible has never talked about other civilizations, right? Or any religious texts, I'm sure, haven't much.
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know.
other than
Yeah, we
like Norse
never.
gods
Well, yeah, like I
or
said,
the
I mean,
Athenians, right?
yeah, I mean the idea of, like, the Greek gods, the Roman gods, and there's a lot of these ancient was it ancient astronaut theories, even that like a lot of the old gods may have been astronauts. So, or not astronauts, but aliens from other planets, and maybe they came, did their work, and then left. And these, yeah, a lot of these books, a lot of these holy books refer to these essentially spaceships, right, coming down from the heavens. A lot of them refer to that. So it's interesting. Even God, or even Jesus in the chariot and rose from the dead, and 3 days later, like, who knows what these really mean?
Yeah, performing miracles was a technology.
Exactly. Could have been, yeah, right. It could have been a healing technology. It could have been, maybe he had essential oils. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, it's a thing. Like, so how do we get to, I don't know, how do we spread the word, or how do we raise the consciousness about this? I guess that's what I'm getting at. How do we get us tuned in? The $1 billion question.
I don't know, getting people like this, get more people talking about it is the only real way. Like,
Yeah.
what else? What else is out there?
Yeah.
And I don't mean like what other aliens are out there, but what other footage is out there, or
Yeah.
what if, like,
Explanations
what
are
if,
out there
remember
too.
crop circles, like crop circles? When's the last time you heard anybody talk about crop circles? Are they still happening? I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to go and Google it even to say when's the last
Yeah.
crop circle that was discovered,
It's true.
right?
Yeah. And
So
it's
what happened to all those?
Yeah, and it's funny, as time goes on, we're learning more and more about the past. We're learning more about, like, these ancient civilizations, like Gobekli Tepe in Turkey, right? And then they're realizing that the Amazon, there's these huge cities overgrown by jungles, and they're realizing through radar imagery that there's pyramids all over South America, all over Mexico, and they're realizing the ancient technology that it was much, much more. So it's almost like it's the perfect timing. We're really undigging the past. At the same time, we're finding out that there's potentially other beings out there. I don't know if you guys follow Graham Hancock at all, but he's an amazing author. Yeah, and he's wrote, Fingerprints of the Gods, Magicians of the Gods. And it's just the idea that he has this idea that we're a species with amnesia, right? That we had a lot of ancient technologies years ago that could have been maybe even superior to some of the technologies we have today. And it was like, essentially, we're a species with amnesia. So I think that a lot of that plays into what we're going on right now, right? With this stuff, with, like, if we were visited before and they were visited again now, how do we make them stay?
Well, we definitely have to be, because for us to have built some of the structures around the world, the ancient structures that are everywhere around the world,
Yeah.
and they have no idea how it was possible.
Yeah.
Even to, like, lesser crazy ones like Stonehenge, which is still big, but it's not as big as the pyramids and some of the other rock structure that's carved into 1,000-foot high face of a rock wall.
Mm-hmm.
Easter Island,
Yeah, Easter
with
Island.
the,
Yeah.
with the statues, yeah.
So there has to be some sort of past that, like, what we do know is there was like asteroids that hit here, which probably caused dinosaurs and stuff like that. We know of other impacts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really link them to an extinction of species so much, but maybe, who knows? Like, there had to have been a time where we had restarted,
For sure.
because for us to go from doing those things to being so stupid in the before the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
Just
Did
so
we forget? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
to
don't think we
forget.
just forgot, right?
it doesn't make sense. In the smartest parts of the world, in Asia and in England, they threw their shit out into the road.
Yeah.
Let alone we're making golden pyramids.
Yeah, it's so weird. Eh? Like we got so advanced as a people, and then we went back in time, and then have to rediscover our knowledge, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, even like you said, even the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza, or other ones, like we don't know how they built them so perfect. We don't, right? We don't know how they did it so perfect, and they moved the stones hundreds of miles away. You know, yeah. Even like you said, Stonehenge, they're amazing feats of engineering, really.
Well, and look, like the most beautiful castles that they have, right? That they've built back in the Bronze Age and past that. They're so beautiful, but they are not perfect one bit.
Yeah.
The brick and everything, the way it forms together, it's just formed together, really.
Yeah.
It's not like super beautiful. The inside's beautiful, but the outside is very raw.
Yeah.
And not fitted perfect. Versus a pyramid, like you said, is stacked perfectly. Like they said, you can't fit a piece of paper through it.
Yeah.
So
it's too perfect.
It was Giuseppe and Luigi up on the top of the plumb line. Everybody knows that, and measuring it out, right?
That's right. The chalk line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so many unsolved mysteries, I guess, over the years, and explained, or that would explain kind of where we came from, or does explain kind of where we came from. So if we are a species with amnesia, and if maybe we've been visited in the past, and if maybe they're coming in again, or like you said, if they're part of us, I want to get down to maybe what can we do? Some potential. I mean, spreading the word, of course, right? Start talking about it more and more. I can have more conversations like this, but I wonder if there's something else we could do, is even just personally, as far as like accept it, right? To maybe kind of come to grips with this. You know what I'm getting at? As far as like, how do we talk to our mom and dads about this? How do we talk to our grandparents about this? Or to your neighbor to say, hey, maybe this is it, or is it too early?
Well, I don't know if it's too early, but
sorry, Dave, go.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know. So it's too early, but that's gonna be the biggest hurdle. Is you're just talking about your grandparents. Come on, there's still people out there who don't believe we've ever been to the moon.
Yeah.
There's people out there that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If that's foreign to them, you're never gonna convince them that aliens are here.
You're right. I mean, I have enough trouble convincing people to eat fat, right? To lose weight. So I get what you mean. I mean, it's a lot of programming, a lot of brainwashing over the years, and just conditioning, right? We live in a world where we've been told you're silly to think there's aliens. We have been told that our whole lives, right?
Exactly.
So it's not silly anymore. And that's the other thing. It kind of gets me, is that the government or the news media or the military can put out this footage saying, "Hey, we don't know what this is." But at the same time, they're not saying, all you guys that were crazy, you're no longer crazy. Like, they didn't say that, right? But the inference is that, holy shit, all these years of people speculating, all these years of people having sites and everything, now these people they're justified, a lot of people, right, to say, holy shit, maybe we should be going, not crazy, but maybe we should be concerned a little.
Yeah. But do they want to control the narrative enough that, right? Because what else does it lead into? Because that's not the only conspiracy, if you would, right? It's not just aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what else were people write about that the government really doesn't want you to find out about? And not just the government, like people. Like, if you look at it, it's not just one country; it's all the countries.
Yeah.
Like, even just because it was the U.S. that captured that footage and whatnot, you can't tell me it's not interesting or relevant to anybody in the UK, China, even North Korea, for heaven's sake, right?
Oh yeah, everybody's going to be on this, right? Well, because it's not national security now it's world security. But that brings you back to the point of, like, why are they doing this now, right? Because like you can take one side of the whole Corona thing as well. Okay, they're locking us down because it's for our safety, of course, right? But are they also locking us down because there's aliens around, like you were saying earlier, right?
Exactly, right. Or did aliens construct this whole thing, and there's something out there right now that they don't want us to get because it's going to be more harmful to them? And who's to say like the Earth is even friendly to them? Or can they breathe our air? Just because we breathe oxygen doesn't mean it's good for them.
Are they biological
It's a fun
beings even?
thought.
What's that?
I said it's a fun thought.
It is, and even like, yeah, I don't know. Are they? I don't know. Like I said, are they maybe a potential good thing, but maybe the government's trying to say they're bad. Maybe the government's going to try and say that they're the ones that caused the corona. Like you said, who knows, right? We don't know. Interesting stuff to talk about, at least. Where do we go from here, guys?
I think it's going to build up
Yeah.
slowly, right? They're not going to just open the box and say, "Here you go, do with it what you want," or let's go crazy. Because not to tie it again back into Corona, because that's what it's in. Is there's a reason why they didn't go and say, okay, school's canceled until September, even for the kids, right? Because if you're a kid and somebody's going to tell you, you don't have to worry about school anymore back on March 13th. Are you going to do your homework? No.
Yeah.
Are parents going to want to help their kids and, learn some more? No. Right? It's going to be like summer vacation just started. All right, party time. Right? That's why they haven't announced it.
Maybe, but on the other hand, you could say that they have announced it because they're really just not sure, right? I don't know, but you're right. I mean,
I'm positive they're sure. Again, not to get too conspiracy theorist. If you're gonna tie the coronavirus, right? It's a virus, not a bacteria.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps saying, well, they're gonna find a vaccine by the fall, and maybe November at the latest, we'll have a vaccine for it. How come we don't have a vaccine for the cold virus? How come we don't have a vaccine for the flu?
That's exactly,
it's a guess.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly right. And that's why I don't trust me personally. I don't trust the idea that they're going to get a vaccine for this. Not only do I trust the idea of a vaccine, but I'm not interested in the vaccine for it. Like, I don't.
What do you mean not interested?
I'm not interested in the vaccine for myself for this, because I'm not interested in the flu vaccine. I'm not interested in the fact that we get a cold every year, right?
Yeah, but do they not fix the cold because the cold medicine is worth $5.6 billion to some other pharmacy?
Yeah, but in my opinion, the reason why they can't fix the cold is because the cold keeps on evolving. The cold virus, they're coronaviruses, right? They evolve, and they evolve every year, and there's a bunch of different viruses around. But and that's why the coronavirus is a novel virus now, right? Because it's kind of changed as well. But my understanding, I don't know, but my understanding is that they can't get a virus, or they can't get a vaccine that works for the flu every year. Every year it's a guess. So I don't have any confidence in this.
But why hasn't the government come out and said that?
What do you mean? Because the government never shares their shortcomings.
Exactly, but how much more panic would that cause? It's the same way with aliens, right? What if they were to straight out come out right now and say, aliens exist, here's the proof, here's a picture of them, this is what they've said, we're screwed, bend over.
Yeah, people be scared and all that stuff. But that's why this is almost, this is almost more weird, because it's like, you're just giving us a little bit of a dangling, a little bit of a piece, right? A little bit of the carrot.
But are aliens now less...
scary now.
Less of a problem of scary than a coronavirus.
Well, who knows? Are they ever a problem at all? That's the thing, right?
Exactly, right? It's like, if people, again, it goes back
a year older.
Yeah, true. But now they're saying kids can die of the damn thing, right? Because they present different symptoms. So
the other thing too is that their narrative is changing, the information is changing, and honestly, my trust level, I trust them less and less over time.
But are they releasing this now to build their trust level back up? Okay,
a new fear, you mean?
Well, no, even you guys were right. Aliens do exist. You can trust us because we've acknowledged that they exist, and they're not going to do anything. So let's go back and focus on the corona now, because it's going to kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows, right? They could be focusing on one thing to take our attention off the other thing, or they could be focused on one thing as a smokescreen. Yeah, who knows, right? I don't know. But I think, what we need to do is this is a good start, right? We'll take it from here. We'll spread the word. I want to spread this as well. See if we can get more people questioning things. Honestly, I'm going to be looking up the sky a little bit more, right, than I did last week. See if I see anything. If you guys are cool with this, I'd love to kind of have a recap again, maybe another couple weeks or a month, and see what's going on, see what's new. See if we can recruit any more crazy people to join our...
So you're giving us homework to find out more stuff, right? I see how it is.
Definitely give you homework. What do you
Distract
think,
me
Andy?
from my Corona research. I get it.
Well, Andy's doing Corona research. I see already tonight. So.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, awesome. Like I said,
I'm down for that.
if something comes up as far
It'd
as
be interesting to see in the meantime, like what you know what's said anymore about it in the news or the mainstream media. If it's just dropped real quick after. I think the real telltale will be once we have more passenger flights, into the Elon Musk company again. I hate to keep dropping his name, but
SpaceX founder and all that.
yeah, just more passenger flights around there. Perhaps then we see more evidence from above them looking down.
Well,
that will tell more at that point, because we're seeing them from the fighters looking up, but now we should be above them, so we should potentially have some sightings from there.
Well, maybe Elon is an alien and his baby. That's why he named it. That's a traditional alien baby name. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, I guess, brings it to the next question again, which I'm always thinking is that if they do say, or if we do confirm as a people, as a general intelligence of a society, say, okay, well, aliens out there, we know now. What does that mean? What's our next thing? If they're, if we need to make contact, right? Is that just a natural thing? As people, how am I setting up the scenario? If I'm a person, and I meet a new group over there, if there's an unknown group over there, if I want to make first contact, right, I'm going to try and communicate and try and make peace, try and maybe trade or something. How do we even start that?
Well, I think what it really means is that the inevitable is true with all the planets out there. There's other life forms. So get used to that idea. We don't necessarily have a meeting that's, happened hand to hand, but we do know that they exist. We as a people should just put more. I think we should just put more focus into looking up and looking, into the water as well. But more money into that. Just I don't know.
I'm looking at it as how we do it without screwing it up, right? Because if you look at us meeting those tribes that have in the Amazon that have never ever seen any other people before,
we've messed
you
that
go
up.
in there, we mess it up, they die off. Whoops, you know what I mean? It's like how do we stop that from happening, or is it that we think it's going to happen to us because aliens are visiting us?
Well, that's the thing. It's more likely that they probably can impose their systems and beliefs on us, if I had to guess. But maybe not. Maybe we are more advanced. Like I said, everything in my body, everything in my soul is telling me that they're probably more advanced than us. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, we'll probably kill them off with smallpox, though, or something.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll probably catch on to their flight, and then they'll take it back home, and then, oh, look, they never came back. That's weird, and they all died.
But as long as we wear masks and we ban automatic weapons, we're okay.
That's right.
It'd be just like the natives would,
Oh, God, yeah. We can't make that mistake. Yeah, guys, I think, like I said, I think this is a good start. I think, obviously, if I get contacted tomorrow by an alien, I'm calling you guys, and we'll have another conversation.
Well, don't call me. Call the government.
Well, I don't call the government. I trust you more than the government.
What am I going to do with that info, though, right? You already have us convinced.
Well, I'll tell you guys.
At least the following night.
Exactly. Awesome, guys.
Who gets book?
What's that, sorry?
Who gets book rights and movie rights? That's what I want to know.
Fatso Radio gets book rights, of course. Actually, good time to remind everybody, we're not giving any medical advice. We're not giving any scientific advice, just our opinions here, just kind of how we feel and our thoughts. Guys, any kind of parting words for our 4 people that are going to watch this? Just kidding.
Parting words. I'm gonna go watch that Astro movie that Andy mentioned. I can't remember. I don't know if you were on or heard us talking about it, because we were talking about Tom Cruise said he's going to make the first movie in space, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure if you heard that before, but yeah, he said within a couple of years he wants to shoot the first movie in space. Again, with SpaceX being the venue about getting him out into space and doing it, right?
That's pretty crazy.
So it is. It is.
And then
But that,
Astra is a cool
yeah.
movie that's out right now.
Asteroid?
Yeah. With Astra.
Astra.
Astra, Brad Pitt's in it.
Okay.
It's a space movie here. Basically, mission to near Neptune,
Wow.
checking to see if there's extraterrestrial life past that outer limit.
That's cool. It's brand new. I didn't even hear about it yet. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I have it on the Fire Stick thing, but
Cool. Yeah, I'll find it.
it's fine.
Sweet. Awesome. Any?
No, it's called Astra. Sorry.
Astra.
AD.
Yeah, Ad Astra.
Yeah.
Okay. Any parting words for you, Andy?
I think just everyone stay open-minded. It's hard because the media makes this seem like a funny subject,
Yeah.
which is strange, but it's almost looked as like a silly thing. But everyone needs to just kind of open up a little bit more to the idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite possible that that's happening, and hopefully that we get some more things released other than just some kind of radar footage. And you know, there's a lot of stories from different pilots and things like that, but hopefully there's just some more truth told to us. I think it'd be nice if people could trust people a bit more.
Yeah.
And hope, you know, that we could respond well to that idea.
Well, that's awesome.
Like I said, it ruins religion, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think love is probably the answer, as hippie as it sounds, right? It's probably the answer, whether we have, you know, alien visitors or the guy next door. It's probably the best bet to start with. Guys, thanks so much. Dave, Andy, thanks so much for your time and your ideas. And like I said, we'll want to circle back with you guys. Hopefully, give it a couple weeks or maybe a month or so. We'll see what comes up. Or if the next, you know, if the next thing comes up, like I said, give me a shout and we'll chat about it.
Exactly.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much.
Question
guys.
everything. Stay open-minded.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night, and thanks for being on Fatso Radio. Have a great night, everybody.
No problem.
Let's say bye to everybody, and we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.